We'll probably post this one.
Oh, yeah. Seamless transition into video 2.
Right. So we were in the middle of picking stuff for all those that really pay attention. This is what has already been chosen. We've got Bill versus Chewy. Both of us chose Bill. We got Spear versus Andy. Carver took Andy. I took Spear begrudgingly. We got Corey versus Gary. We both chose Corey, and we are now moving on to Richie versus Prashant. And we have to make a pick. The fun thing here is we've got Mr. Picks 5 receivers versus Richie, whose team just defeated you and I believe is 2-0 on the season.
I'm pretty sure in my initial diagnostics, I said that Richie had one of the better drafts and the better teams, and it's no surprising that he's 2-0. So I'm going to stick with that and keep going with Richie.
Yeah, I chose Richie as well. The fun thing is that because of the receivers Prashant has, he could win if they both just give him, like 40-point games, because he's ridiculous that way. Because he's got Cup and Diggs. So. And Cup is playing Arizona and Diggs is playing Miami. So those could be some high scoring receivers this week. But I will stick with Richie because his team is balanced and has plenty of good players in every position. That moves us on to you versus the specialist of Chris's.
Well, I mean, obviously I'm going to win.
Right. Obviously, you would at least choose you to choose you. What scares me is that
Spiders.
No, that's a Harris is scared of spiders. I have no problem with spiders. In fact, I got a spider just hanging out in the corner of one of my rooms. I just leave there. Problem is, all three of us have chosen you the last 2 weeks. And it's probably going to be that way this week too, because choosing Chris is really hard for me to ever do. Amazingly, your guys.
Are you going to choose Chris and Spear in the same week? How's your heart? Can your heart take that?
No, but to make myself feel better about it, I do owe one more drink. So I was just going to take it now and then make.
Friends don't let friends drink alone. Here's number 5 for me.
Oh, that tequila's not treating me as well as it did last year. Need to go get some screwball and some scatterbrain. Those are the shot drinks. Like those things taste so good. The fact that your team didn't do well this week, and given the players on it, they all seem like bounce back. So I will stick with.
Just because we didn't win doesn't mean we didn't do well. I would have beat almost half the league.
Well, that's because half the league is not doing well to begin with. Didn't you just get like a flat 100? Like your team 104.
I said almost half.
I don't know. 104 is not a great score. And
about 80. Shut up.
You would have beat 3 other people. Like that's a quarter of the league.
4 other people, right?
3. You would have lost to Harris by a point. You would have only beat me, who is terrible. Gary, also unfortunately terrible. And Nielsen, who auto pick could be good or bad every week. So those are the only teams you would have beat, which is a quarter of the league.
Would have beat a quarter of the league.
Yes. So well done on your core. But yeah, unfortunately, our pick diversity this week is not looking great. Listener, we got one more to do, but we'll see.
Trying this year to pick correct picks, we're probably gonna go with a lot of the ones we are favorites instead of just going with random and you going against yourself every week, which this year is actually gonna be the play, going against yourself
Yep.
every week.
Sadly, it was the play last year too. It's not. Uh, I need Pierce to really take off so that next year's keeper is a first rounder. Because Zeke is not. He's just not a keeper anymore. Like I gotta cut him loose. Like it's getting ugly.
Yeah.
Last game of the week: Nielsen versus Harris. Projected favorite is Nielsen. I gotta switch back to week 3.
Yeah, I'm going Captain Auto pick.
The sad thing is both of these are projected to be under 100. Like that's not a good projection. Nielsen does have to do some alignment changes because
Yes, he does.
he's got some suspended players and he's got a suspended player, and I don't know if Carner will play or not. But Harris team, though it beat me, still equally sucks. And sure, he would have beat a third of the league this week. So which is better than a quarter, just in case you were wondering. Or just bad at math. Like I assume Special K is.
Facts.
This kind of sucks because here's the problem. If I choose Nielsen, all I did was choose all the projected winners this week. But I'm still doing it. So it's just what's got to be done. It'll be interesting to see where Harris comes in, because you and I only differed on one pick, and that was you chose Andy to beat Spear. That was the only difference. So for the listeners that want to make picks, you
Well,
kind of have to wait till Harris does his video. But
what if it was a fight? Who would you choose between Andy and Spear?
Andy,
Because
no doubt.
he's bald.
He's also, last time I saw him, he seemed like he was somewhat in shape. I've seen Spear recently. He is not. I don't know. Andy always just seems stronger.
Is lumpy a shape?
Multiple shapes, probably. A lot of roundness. So you also chose Nielsen, right? Yeah, good. I just didn't write it down. So yeah, then we need our listener picks. So that's the weekly picks. I guess we can just move into what the league did and all that other fun stuff we like to talk about. You want to do your drop ads, or we talking about just random results? You don't owe the press conference this week, so you don't have to read the sleeper weekly report unless that's just part of the show now.
Yeah, I think we're going to I do like to comment on the best manager being Richard DeGrow, who, I mean, if I lose to the best manager, I'm kind of, if I gotta lose, I'd rather lose to the best manager. Matt Nielsen, worst manager, which it would take a little bit of digging, but I believe oh no, I was wrong. I thought Matt Nielsen was the best manager last week, which would have been funny from go to best to worst, but no, Nielsen, worst manager. Biggest blowout, Mr. Bill Shores beating, well, you beat the worst manager, Bill, so it's not like, it's anything special.
So if you look at, even if he had done the perfect lineup, he still would have lost. So Bill was going to win that regardless.
Oh yeah. Bill could have probably sat 2 players and had 2 open spots on his lineup and still won.
Right. I mean, Bill was the highest scorer of the week, so he beat everybody.
Hey, who was the lowest score?
Me.
Look at you. Hey, at least you did something. At least you got
Yeah.
at least you got
You
an
know,
award or something.
I might not have got the best manager, but I will tell you, there is only one other person I could have put in my lineup to give me better scoring. And that would have been sitting Chase Edmonds for Pierce. And that is it. Like I made all the other calls correctly.
That which is funny because you made all the other calls correctly, and you still were the like most below expected point value.
Oh, yeah. Well, when your quarterback gets injured after only getting you 2 points, that will do it.
Hey, be a better manager. Stop blaming the quarterback.
Yeah, injuries are predictable and running quarterbacks get them all the time. So I should have just been like, screw running quarterbacks and picked up like Aaron Rodgers off waivers, but he's also garbage right now. So who cares? I mean, I would have got 15 more points. And now that my guy's injured, there are people in the league wisely offering me Aaron Rodgers, but I don't want him. So,
Yeah, I'm interested to see when the first trade is gonna go down.
in honesty, like I really need to get on looking at trades because my running backs are garbage and now my quarterbacks are garbage. But I will probably start that after waiver clear.
Well, when you
Yes.
draft 7 rookie running backs, I mean, you're
Yes.
not really gonna.
You're not going to be great.
No. I'm gonna move to the overachiever on Sleeper, the overachiever in life, Captain Tryhard, Rashawn Bryant. Look at you.
Does he try hard?
I mean, I think he tries hard. I've seen him. I've seen him try. He tries hard. But he's 27% over his expected point value. So, good on ya. Man, just this week there was just some blow up. Some guys just went off. How in the world was Lamar Jackson the quarterback of the week when Tua threw like 6 touchdowns and almost 500 yards?
Because running matters. And,
running matters. Interesting. Yeah. Running back of the week, Aaron Jones. Wide receiver of the week, Stephon Diggs. Man, Diggs is just killing it. If Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Buffalo's defense stay healthy, they're unbeatable. They are just insane right now.
Yep.
Mark Andrews, tight end of the week. Daniel Carlson, kicker of the week. Who cares? Defense of the week, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then a bunch of other stuff nobody cares about.
Except the last one. And only because the interesting thing, if somebody has a kicker on their bench, is it worth keeping an injured kicker on your bench?
I mean, I would love for Mr. Bill to answer that in the comments. Bill, you're wasting a bench spot on a kicker who, by the way, qualifies for an IR spot. So please help us out with your strategy on that coaching decision, buddy.
It's odd. Wait, why is this? Are we looking at that wrong? So here's the funny thing is I click on Bill's team. And for some reason, unless I drink more than I thought.
He has Butker in the IR.
Well, yeah, that would explain because Dobbins is not. So, but like, it's weird when I click on his team just from the matchup, it does not show the IR position. I guess I have to just do it where I click on his actual team and then there it is. All right, then that makes total sense. Okay, comment retracted because Sleeper is. Why would you tell us the bench when it's an IR spot?
Oh, but he did have 27 points on his bench from Garrett Wilson.
Yep. I had Elijah Moore on my bench, but that was smart. All right, so those are the fun things. So you're already looking at Shore's team, good old Bill. You
Bill.
rolling into your who they should drop then?
Oh yeah, for sure. Albert O was pretty much, he was a darling in the off season, but he was trash all through training camp. And he's not doing anything in the regular season. So Albert O is your definite number one cut candidate. I'm gonna just go down the line. Richard DeGrow. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious since Tyrion Davis-Price got hurt. He's not looking like any kind of keeper candidate, and I mean, you can't, I guess you cannot throw him on your IR since you got Kittle there. And for some dumb reason, we still think that the second IR spot should be a COVID only one, when I don't think COVID even exists anymore. But really, did it ever really exist? Or
I
was
had
that,
it in July, but it wasn't a big deal.
did you have
I
it?
did.
Or was
They
did
did
that-
actually get it. It lasted all of, a few days. And
I think that's just what the Russians wanted you to believe.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the test actually tests for, but it said it was COVID. So
Yeah, so
but-
Tyrion Davis-Price, you can definitely throw him to the trash.
Well,
and pick
what
up.
if Kittle comes out, because Kittle's one of those, like, you move him there at the last minute because he's gonna be questionable all week. So he can move Price to IR. Kittle may finally be back. So then is he still just dropping if because of the way IR works, Kittle should have to come out probably tomorrow.
I mean, probably in that situation, I don't see Christian Watson being of a strong value. His wide receivers are really good, and you could say that Christian Watson has keeper value, but he still has Drake. He's got Drake London and Tyler Algier that I think have more keeper value than Christian Watson. Not to mention that Dalvin Cook is his keeper, and if Cook, plays well, you could still keep him. So, if I had to choose somebody other than Tyrion Davis-Price, I'd probably drop Christian Watson. Algier just split or had the exact same amount of carries as Cordero Patterson, so they're giving him some work. So I think that I would rather keep Algier for at least one more week than Christian Watson. But
All right, so we'll move on to Andy then, because that would be the next on the list that I'm looking at least, right?
moving on.
Of course, the fun there is Andy has an open bench spot, if I'm looking at this correctly. Mine is saying he has an open bench spot, so he doesn't even need to drop.
Well, it's very true, but he also
Still has Turpin
well, sure,
and Ronald Jones.
and Ronald Jones, who's out, and Ronald Jones sucks asshole anyway, so he shouldn't even be rostered. So yeah, Andy, you can pick up one player, drop two players, and then pick up two more. You're in such a embarrassment of riches right now on bench spot. How are you 2-0 and have the worst bench of anybody? Your starters are really good. You should thank the AI that auto drafted your team for you.
All right, well, that was an easy team. We'll move on to good old Corey then.
Wow, Corey's got so much red on his bench in IR. Michael Pittman out, Hunter Renfrow out. Told you to drop Hunter Renfrow last time. Didn't listen to me, but
No, I mean,
So
It's funny because he didn't really do much, but 10 targets, 7 receptions isn't a player you would usually drop.
I mean, yeah, but I'm gonna, call it a win on my saying that you should drop him because he's hurt and he fumbled twice and lost one of them. So, but also Jordan Mason. I know that he was like kind of a Niners darling, but they brought up or not Khalil Mack, Marlon Mack for the practice squad, and I just don't think that Jordan Mason is going to get any kind of run. So Jordan Mason probably is your best drop candidate. Mr. Corey, I don't think Corey listens at all. So
Probably not. Well, and the problem with the Mason one is I get that that would be the logic, but because of just San Francisco and injury, anybody that has him is going to hold him to see him at least play
yeah,
or to see if anybody else on San Francisco gets injured because that's just what happens in San Francisco.
moving on to myself. I definitely have let's see who
I think you should just drop Godwin because that seems like he's just taking up space.
well, I'm not
And
going to
Tampa
do
Bay is
that.
terrible.
I'm not going to do that. I have a waiver claim in, and I'm gonna drop Taysom Hill if that waiver claim clears. So that is my droppy McDropperson person.
Right. I mean, you could also drop the Kansas City rookie because he only gets garbage time.
He's the only rookie on my team. They might not keep Clyde next year, and McCaffrey is not the McCaffrey of old. So I might need a rookie keeper. So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think your McCaffrey issues is that the team doesn't know what the hell they're doing, less than he's not the McCaffrey of old.
That's true. I'll probably keep McCaffrey even if he sucks ass, but I want that potential keeper option for a rookie.
Sure.
For
Right.
right now.
But Jimmy Nielsen, the other auto pick,
Yeah.
he's got. I mean, the obvious choice is probably Parker because
Yeah, Devontae Parker. That's pretty. You could drop Tua, and then
yes,
So-
drop the quarterback that scored almost 46 points in our league this year.
Yeah.
Or this week.
No, Devontae Parker was always has been trash. You never should have let the auto drafter draft him.
Not to mention, he also has Myers. Like, you definitely don't want both of them on your team.
Yeah. I mean, and James Conner potentially is going to be an IR person. So you could just throw Conner on your IR and pick somebody else and not drop Devontae Parker. But
Right.
dropping Devontae Parker would be so much fun because he sucks. Going to Broshawn. Broshawn, you have Keenan Allen out, so IR eligible, and an empty bench spot. So if you move Keenan Allen to your IR, you'll have 2 empty bench spots and won't have to drop anybody. So that's the recommendation. But Brashawn, usually he likes to hate everything I say. So he'll probably not move Keenan Allen to his IR and not pick up anybody for that empty spot just to spite me. And I respect that.
He's one of those interesting ones that just drops players. Like when he's like, I'm done with I think my favorite was I gotta roll this back, but I want to say he dropped Indiana's defense last week. Then was like, oh, I don't have a defense, and picked them back up. Yes, I have confirmed that is exactly what he did last week. He dropped them, looked at all the defenses available, one being them, and picked them right back up.
Well, could not have made a better choice of defense to drop and pick back up because they're playing
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jaguars suck. Oh, wait.
Yeah. So not the smoothest move there be. The problem is by the
Hey,
time he
Sean,
hears the
Sean still got a win, which is more
He-
than you did. So you shut your mouth.
yes, well, look, I love Rashawn, but I'm trying to help him win so that
He
because I'm
did
not going
win.
to.
He did win. You help yourself win.
Well, what I'm saying is because of the way these work, he isn't going to be able to move Allen to the IR because he will probably be moved to questionable tomorrow because of the way all injury reports work. So that out ruling won't show up again until Sunday when he plays again.
Maybe, baby.
But he's got an open spot, so the drop thing is kind of pointless because he can just add whatever. And he can drop Indiana all over again and pick up a defense and another player.
True.
All right, we'll move on to Spear.
Spear. Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell has been like a darling of people that look at potential for the last couple of years, and he just never produces. He's got all the skills and talent in the world, and for some reason, Paris Campbell can just not ever do anything for anybody ever. So Michael Pittman was out, the number one stud wide receiver. Paris Campbell had all the opportunity in the world to step up and be the man. And he got 2 targets and no catches. So Paris Campbell is trash, and that's where you should put him.
Not much to say on top of that. We'll just move on to Harris.
Harris, oh my goodness.
Wow, he's got a lot of outs.
Kamara out, Gabe Davis out, Julio Jones out, and you have nobody in your IR spot. Harris, you're a terrible manager. What are you doing?
So the note there is we need to the smart thing people need to do, because I did this in another league, was I took, in the other league we had 2 IR spots and they were both real, like you can put whoever you want that's actually out, not suspended, in IR. Before the game started, and these players got marked out, because that's what happened with these 3. I moved both of them in and then just went and picked up like defenses and stuff for the following weeks. So I had them ahead of time. And then I just choose and drop what I want to, because the problem is now he probably won't be able to move any of them to IR because they're all going to go to questionable again. So he missed his opportunity to at least tie up waivers for people for a while to make them not see available things, right? So he could have locked up at least one thing, even if he knew he was going to drop it, just to delay when somebody would get that player.
So what you're saying is Harris is a dummy.
If look, if my team is bad as it is, and I know you should do this, I mean, come on, guys. If I can do it, anybody else can do it.
Oh man, I'm seeing something I haven't seen for the first time. Special K is ranked higher than you and Gary, which, I mean, you guys should just kill yourselves.
I sadly think that might have happened last year too.
Oh my goodness. Well, moving on to Chris's team. Hey, look at that. He has a player that's IR eligible, and he put him in the IR, which makes him smarter than like a quarter of the league that hasn't done that. But going on what he's got going for his bench drop candidates. I mean, Sky Moore, I think is the biggest drop candidate. I like the potential, but I think it's probably more like a year or 2 away from Sky Moore actually being a legit thing. If you're only holding on him for the keeper potential, I just can't see how you would choose Sky Moore over Najee Harris, like ever. So Sky Moore for me is the biggest drop candidate.
Wow, he didn't even get a target this week, huh?
Nah.
And he only got one last week. Yeah, that's not doing. There's not much on that offense. Like the problem is they're spreading it around so much that it's hard to even the guys you should want aren't that desirable.
Yeah, he's really good. Like Sky Moore's good, and Patrick Mahomes is really, really good. But there's so many people there, and
Right.
he's not established, and he's a rookie, and you should drop him. All right, Gerald DeGrow, you should drop Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not playing well, and I think he's obviously that's a lie. As Brashawn pointed out in the comments last week, Tyler Lockett is always solid. And I think Tyler Lockett was my drop candidate for you last week. And he got 11 targets and 9 catches for 107 yards. So, but you picked up Ken Walker, who was my drop candidate for Matthew Harris. And he, yes, has the lowest points on your bench. So I'm going to recommend you drop him as well. I don't think he's going to pay off as a rookie keeper. And I just think he sucks. So Ken Walker, Kenneth, whatever, is your drop candidate for this week. And Mr. Chewbacca. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you should drop Trey Lance.
Good call. I agree.
He's out for the year. Your IR spot is already filled with somebody who actually is going to play pretty soon.
And might be valuable. Who knows?
And might be. But looking at your team, you have no backup quarterback. So who is Chusif going to pick up to lead this ragtag bunch of nobodies?
Yeah. Well, the fun is being the worst team, I still have a decent waiver, even though I used it last week to get Curtis Samuel, which did help me score more points this week. So that's solid. But there are a few people ahead of me on waivers. So saying anything is not the smartest. I got Bill offering me Aaron Rodgers in a trade. Well, I don't know for what, but just pointing out that somebody drafted Aaron Rodgers and then dropped him. So Bill picked him up as trade bait and is now trying to use that trade bait against me. But he just hasn't looked good to be like, oh yeah, I want to trade for that guy. So we'll see how waivers fare, because even using my waivers, I think I still have the 4th priority. Where did this go? Oh no, never mind. Apparently when I looked at that, it hadn't reset for the weekly. We use waivers that reset every week. I'm number 1, so I get whatever I want. So I can just say that I will pick up Carson Wentz because he's still available. And as much as that hurts me, because who knows what Wentz is going to do, he is currently like QB3 on the season or something ridiculous.
Yeah, Wentz is a Hall of Famer for sure.
So that's the sad thing I'm going to do. Not to say it's the best, but he is QB3, so I'll pick him up, and then I'll at least have the Wentz Samuel stack. I'm sure next week will probably not be a Samuel week. It'll be like a McLaurin week or something, but you know, I will be jinxing 2 teams by doing this because in my other league I have Dotson. So who also has been working out for me.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for the evening. Thank you everybody for your massive support. I think we just hit 100,000 subscribers and followers. So We should be getting our plaque from YouTube any day now. But yeah, a heartfelt thank you. Chewy, any parting words?
Yes, sorry for the pause there. Here's the fun thing with Sleeper. We just went through drop ads and you told Spear to drop Paris Campbell, correct?
Yeah.
Looking in the league chat 11 hours ago, Spear dropped Paris Campbell.
Oh,
So,
so he listened to future me.
right, which is fun that when you click on Spear's team, it still shows Paris Campbell, even after hitting refresh. Like, I checked it. And I was like, well, that's weird. Let me see if he still shows up in Spear's lineup, or not lineup, but bench. He's still there because and that's me clicking on standings. Maybe because it had me set as week 3, and he is gone. Nope, he is still there. I lied. Even when I move the league to week 3, I don't know. So Sleeper website, I don't know if the app does different, needs to, like, it's going to really draw down our show if you present things for things that have already happened.
How dare they? Our show is perfect.
I don't know why why would you display him as on that guy's team?
I don't know. I'll write a letter and I'm sure they'll respond post haste.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for us. Thank you everybody for suffering through this with us. Hopefully Matt Harris will be back sometime in the future. He apparently thinks other things in life are more important than this, which he's wrong. But
Or his wife does. And he did not want to get murdered.
I would love to see him get murdered. That would be awesome.
You think she'd film it for the league? I mean, it's bad for court, but great for the league.
I mean, she is very high on content creation, and I think that would get a lot of views. So yeah, she'd do it.
Okay.
Do it for the gram.
I'll ask her. If she does murder her, I'll ask her to put it on video for us.
Smart. All right. Well, good luck, everybody. And as always,
Don't say.
I don't say it. I don't have like an as always thing. I don't even know what I was going to do right there.
I tell him not to suck.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Do not do worse than me.
Yeah, that would be really bad. Chewy, are you going to get 100% last place this year?
God, I hope not, but it's not looking good. I got to make some trades.
Oh, I think you and Special K and Gary need to have like a bet on who's not going to get last place, because you guys are definitely the odds on favorite for last.
Yeah.
All right. Card bet coming soon on last place. Good night, everybody.